Death is my duty. Your duty is to the Emperor. You will die when and where he so chooses, not over some personal vendetta. Do you understand? For the Emperor! For the Emperor!
In a sea of trend chasers and corporate copycats, Space Marine 2 aims to do something simple. Be epic and fun. No game should last forever. Rest in peace, sweet Prince Destiny 2. But after 2 years with no super mega ultra expensive 10-year roadmap, Space Marine 2 is still going strong. And if you've been thinking about going back, you should. And if you haven't dipped your toes into the 40,000th Warhammer, well, let me tell you why you should. Grab a chainsword, a bolter rifle that shoots bullets the size of baseballs, and do a suborbital drop onto the heretical threat for the Emperor. Okay, before I can talk about anything else, I need to sell you on the gameplay itself. Best way I could put it is if Gears of War and Modern Doom had a baby and made a genetic phenom of a child. First name Space, last name Marine 2. It's a third-person over-the-shoulder combat with both a mix of melee and ranged tools at your disposal to deliver your craft of death. Except there is no cover because you are the cover, son. You've got snappy aiming, beautifully hefty yet fluid swings, quick counters and dodges to avoid damage, and 2 great mechanics to manage your survival. Glory kills, aka executions to replenish your armor, and the rally system from Bloodborne makes a return to recover your contested health. The push forward aggression combat design here could not be more in sync, and honestly, it's crazy to think that more games haven't incorporated the rally system like the way Saber Interactive did here. The gameplay borrows a lot from the best and blends ideas together for a near perfect amalgamation of what a day in the life of a Space Marine would be. Now let's talk about the campaign. And just like the story, I'll be brief about it. They don't make campaigns like this anymore, for good or ill, depending on who you ask, but if you ask me, what you get here alone is almost worth the price of admission, especially right now because it's on sale. Luckily, there is an entire game beyond the campaign, so it's well worth. It is a completely action-packed war on a massive scale for you, the player, but in the world of 40k, it's just another Tuesday and it's awesome. You play as Lieutenant Titus, the protagonist of Space Marine 1 in a campaign that is one epic spectacle after another, in large part due to the Swarm engine, where every single enemy over the horizon has individualized AI pathing and targeting versus fake JPEG crowds in the distance, or scripted visual smoke and mirror BS, due in another large part to the lore surrounding the universe of Warhammer 40k, and finally in tremendous part due to the unwavering faith in mankind's God Emperor's will. The story is about dispensing extermination upon the Xenos and heretic threats through religious fervor and absolute brotherhood. All these motherfuckers, man, they inspire me to be a better comrade to my homies, always calling each other brother, always showing righteous respect, unyielding fury, and calling out each other's bull, but always having each other's back. The campaign isn't a 120-hour slop fest filled with cutscenes, cringe dialogue, and mindless time wasters sprinkled in with some stealth and then some actual gameplay. Nah man, this campaign is 8 to 12 hours long, and they tell you what is happening right now and what you need to do to get it done. So even though there's not a lot of time for depth, I think players can find deeper meanings, motives, and details about Titus and the others if they so choose to care. But ultimately, it doesn't matter if you don't want it to, because you don't need to understand why Chiron hates heretics as much as he does. You just need to hate them too, and that's okay, brother. So play the campaign alone or with 2 more bros. Either way, it's a damn good time. The worst thing I could say about the campaign is that there's delayed pop-ins and visuals every now and then, and that perhaps the campaign should have been a little longer, or specific moments should have been a little longer. But I do believe that leaving people wanting more will always be better than wearing out your welcome. Okay, so now let's talk about everything else. The reason why this game is still alive and kicking by all accounts. Throughout the campaign, Titus will say, "Yo, Captain Ginger Boy, I need a squad of 20 fucking men to kill this mega psychic bug that can melt our insides with a blink of an eye with its green fugly eyes." To which Akaran will reply,
I can spare 3 men.
and as it turns out, the you and 2 other bros are the 3 men to help Titus out in the B-plot missions, and sometimes the B-plot missions are actually cooler than the A-plot missions. This is where Space Marine 2 really shines in my opinion, because at launch there was about 6 missions, most of them tied to the campaign, but thanks to consistent updates, the game currently sits at 12 total, plus a siege mode, which is basically what I would call a mini traveling horde mode, and I'll explain that real quick. You start with a defense site as you join the Imperial Guard and face the enemy in waves, and after every set of waves, you get the choice to progress deeper and deeper into the battle for higher rewards. Whilst defending in the siege, you accumulate currency for more guard soldiers, health and ammo, and even a dreadnought for a limited amount of time. Gives real killstreak vibes. But going back to the PvE missions though, same setup as the main campaign. 3 brothers attack, defend or capture assets for the Imperium in key locations throughout the galaxy. However, instead of maining Titus, you can actually be one of 7 Battle Brother classes, all with their own special abilities and or perks to choose from as you level them up and venture into more and more challenging difficulties. Upgrade your marine, upgrade your guns, and upgrade your choice of melee weapon. There is some overlap in terms of guns and or melee choices, but not everyone can use anything. For example, only the heavy can use heavy bolter chain guns, or only the bulwark comes with a shield, or the tactical has the most access in terms of guns. Strengths and weaknesses in all the classes to really differentiate the feel of each one. However, I don't think there's a single class that feels useless, and all are extremely viable and fun. The same Marines here can be used in Siege mode, by the way. Okay, so Space Marine 2 is fun, and it has more free content consistently being added, since the only thing you need to pay for, quote unquote need, are cool cosmetics. Great. But what if you're like me and need something to grind towards? Well brother, let me tell you, every class goes up to level 25 and each level has a choice of perk. But after reaching level 25, you can prestige your class for a bonus permanent perk that also increases your XP gained by 10% per prestige. So the game incentivizes you to keep prestiging, as it does make your marine stronger, nor does it penalize you for starting from the bottom. Another thing that you can grind for, and what personally keeps me going, is the goddamn trip. You can mix the match parts as you unlock more and more badass things to make your marine look like the baddest motherfucker on the field, because slaying Tyranids has to be done with some aura. And the real endgame grind is something called stratagems, where you can play missions you've already done, but with positive and negative modifiers, mostly negative, to get special currency. So with the stratagem grind, you get to mix things up even more, and the game gets to stay fresh a little longer, while also letting you buy even more drip and or some of the most badass and probably legal weapons you can acquire. And trust me bro, you think I'm exaggerating with the drip and the aura, but I'm not. The gameplay and the grind is extremely satisfying, but being able to show off what you earned is a true Warhammer 40k experience.
No one likes to show off.
Unless what they're showing off is dope as fuck.
It's the rule of cool, baby. To wrap things up, there's also a PvP mode to duke it out with other Space Marine players against Space Marine players in a 6v6 arena. It is extremely simple and very fun. Do I wish it had a little more nuance than that? For sure. But this game mode was included at launch, so the fact that it even made the cut really went to show how dedicated the devs were to give players the complete package. Everything after launch has been free bonuses that are not locked behind paywalls, and the PvP was never going to break into the esports scene or have a crazy ranked experience, but things are allowed to exist purely for the fun of it. Warhammer 40k has always been a setting that I viewed from afar, but never knew how to jump into it. Space Marine 2 has been that gateway for me, and it's been amazing. The game itself has been a blast alone or with friends, and it has let me gradually learn about the ever so rich lore of Warhammer 40k. However, what truly matters is this: the game is fun. It respects your time, and the setting is fucking awesome. And it should serve as a reminder to the entire industry that there is no better live service than just making a damn good game with consumer-friendly practices. And that's why I believe Space Marine 2's pledge is eternal service.